Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online, and in today's video we are in Cheetah because I want to talk a little bit about the contracts and the blueprint copies, because this is how I've been making a decent amount of money since the Citadel release. Now there are two things that I think I should say, because I'm sure that maybe some new players will also want to get in on this sort of business. The first one is that the contracts are a little bit of the Wild West of EVE Online. There's a lot of scams in there, so be very careful if you actually plan to buy contracts, because a lot of people do try to scam that way. It's pretty easy to do. For instance, you want to sell a Plex for 500 million ISK, right? That would be an extremely good price, but something that is very easily overlooked is that you also add a Plex in the items that you want to receive. And so then of course, if you accept that contract, you basically just give 500 million ISK to the scammer. So yeah, that's one thing. Contracts, be extremely careful, especially when you're buying, because you don't want to make a mistake there. And then the second thing is, you can see here, this is how I'm doing it. I'm creating copies of items, especially the Astralis blueprint and the structure component blueprints at the moment. But as the title indicates, newness doesn't last, and so all of these are seriously going down in price as supply has increased. Let's start, for instance, with the Astralis blueprint. The original cost 6 billion ISK, and I've sold several for more than 100 million ISK. In fact, the first one for like 125 million ISK, which is more than 2% of the purchase price. That's actually quite a lot when it comes to blueprint copies, but these have gone down in price substantially. In fact, the last one that I sold 3 days ago only went for 50 million ISK, and now if I press find in contracts, so here is the contracts window, you can see, oh my god, they're gone down in price to like 20 million ISK, which is only as much as some of these blueprint copies are going for. So let's quickly grab, I always take the current system, because I feel that if you come to Cheetah for a blueprint copy, you're not going to travel any further. So here we go. Oh, it's actually not as bad as I thought. You can see here there is one for sale for 20 million, but that's an auction. So people have to bid up the price until someone gives the final price. So this can still go up quite substantially. And then the first one that you can buy outright is for 58 million ISK. So okay, people are settling around the 55 to 60 million ISK price for a Citadel blueprint copy. That's quite alright. That's around 1% of the purchase price, which means that you still have to sell like 100 of them in order to get your blueprint original back. But it's still quite alright, right? 55 million, let's say, every 3 days just for blueprint copies. You don't even need a boss for that, because I'm not risking the original in a boss. That's definitely not so bad. So yeah, let's create that contract. Create contract here. We're going to make a public item exchange. I'm always a little bit frisky about it. You don't want the X to be somewhere else, but it hasn't gone wrong for me so far. And then here we'll ask 55 million. Now, maybe, you know what, we'll ask 52,500 to be decently sure that it'll sell pretty quickly. Then we'll press next. This, because it takes around 2 million to create a copy, makes me around 50 million ISK, which is less than 1%, but I'm still quite okay with it. So then we just press finish, yes, and there we go. This contract has been created, and if someone comes here, looks for the cheapest blueprint copy, they might just pick mine up. You go to contracts, of course, via business and then contracts, and what you can also do here is search for your own. And so I'll quickly show that to you guys. As you can see here, I have quite a few outstanding contracts, including an old one that's only lasting another 4 days, but I'm too lazy to take those out. For instance, here, structured docking bay blueprint for 20 million ISK is the oldest one that's still remaining. Who knows, if I get lucky, maybe they'll still pick these up, but let's take a quick look at these items. So these have been selling decently well for around 20 million ISK lately, but as I've said, the newness of Citadels is going down. People are coming in on this business as well. Supply is going up, and that always means that prices are decreasing. And this is something that's the second warning basically that I want to give you, next to be very careful when you create and accept contracts. Make sure that you read them thoroughly so that you don't get scammed or that you don't make a mistake. The second is, if you want in on this sort of business, you have to be up to date on the trends in EVE Online. I know, for instance, that when the new type of structures will start to come out, then there will be more demand for some of these components, and that's going to be a good time to have a bit of a stack ready to sell and to try to make extra money, because as demand increases, of course, the prices increase as well. But you also have to know that your window of opportunity is pretty small, which is the reason why at first some people have asked me if they could get a cheap blueprint copy for me, but it was just not the right idea, I think, to leave those like 70 million ISK off the table that you got extra for the first few blueprint copies in Jita. And so yeah, that's what I've been doing. I sold several at more than 100 million ISK, and then last week it dropped to 50 million ISK, and now it's around that price still. So let's check this out. For instance, the structure advertisement next to this could be okay, because that's a completely new blueprint copy. You could also, of course, try to research them. These are at 7%, 12% material efficiency. That's pretty decent considering that they do use minerals. It is somewhat useful. I'm not sure how much people check that in the contract. So personally, when I'm selling them, I don't really look at that too much. I don't think people pay too close attention to it. But let's find these in the contracts. Let's go for current station or current system. We'll do current station, press a quick search. As you can see, that's not an auction going for 5 million ISK, but then it's 20 million ISK and 27.5 million ISK. So I think that this is still pretty high because of the newness of the structure advertisement. So I think if I try to create one for, let's say, 17 million ISK, that will have a decent chance that that will still sell. Without putting too much pressure on the price for that 5 million ISK one. And this is, oh, that is one thing that you should take a look at. This is for 4 runs, 6 material efficiency, 20 million ISK gets you only 1 run. That's crazy. Material 710, okay, that's interesting. So there you go. This is why you have to check. This makes more sense. 27.5 for a 5 run. So that one will basically never get sold, but this one is basically creating a bit of a problem for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept this one and put it up for a more reasonable price considering the other ones. When was this put up? 13 days, 22, so just a few hours ago. People must not have seen that 5, and now this year you have to be extremely careful. Is there maybe something wrong with it? You will get structure advertisement, you will pay 5 million ISK. Seems like it's okay. Where is the scam part? Now I'm actually a little bit afraid that I'm making a mistake by buying this blueprint copy. But it seems alright. 5 million ISK. Date issued very recently, so it could just be that people haven't spotted that one just yet. So let's press accept. I'm gonna risk this. Yep. Yes. Just to get it out of the list. So if I press search, we start at 20 million. That's a lot better. And now if I want to be sure, let's see here, 27.5 million ISK for this. Alright, we'll try to create these contracts, which is for 5 runs. What you probably want most of the time, next for 22.5, like that. 22.5 million is last 2 weeks. I get that finish, but yeah, be very careful here. Let's quickly check my wallets, for instance. So I paid 5 million. It's not like I paid anything else. It's pretty difficult to do an item scam with this one. So I think that that's okay. I can resell that for probably 15 million ISK or something like that pretty easily. And of course you pay like a deposit, which you get back. And then you also pay the broker's fee right there. But you can see down here 19 million, 19 million, 19 million, 15 million. Those are other sales of these blueprint copies that have gone through. And this is making me a decent amount of money right now. I can have, I think, up to like 18 of these contracts up at the same time. So let's go for another one here. Finding contracts. Let's see what the structure hanger is going for. And I will take in station, current station, search. So we get some multiple items, and these are only going for 4 million. And how many runs? 5 runs. So yeah, this has definitely seriously decreased in price. You can see that the availability has shot up quite substantially. So this is just not something that I should take copies of anymore at the moment. Let's look for another one. Here's a structural laboratory, finding contracts. Again, I prefer to just look at the station. And again here, going for 4 million is so extremely common. Someone is really bringing those in. But this is only a 1 run. Okay, that's starting to be more potentially interesting. So 1 runs for 4 million. This could be a 2 run. Yeah, exactly, for 8 million. Then this is actually a 7 run copy. So this is of course what I mean by the Wild West. There's not so much an easy way to know exactly what's behind every contract. Here is 5 run, for instance. So again, I don't think that this one is the best. Let's take a look at the structure market hub. That could be better because it's used more than any of the others in the Strauss. So let's find this baby in contracts. And then again, we'll go for Jita. Too bad that you always have to reset that, but okay. And this is now going for 8 million starting price, and this is only a 1 run. So that's definitely better. 8 million for a 1 run again, 14 million for a 1 run, and 4 runs for 25 million. So this is based on the Strauss, right? The Strauss needs 1 of each, but 4 structure market networks in order to be built, and this is why this one is up in price. So structure advertisement nexus because of the newness, structure market hub because of the Strauss, and so now I can give them something extra and ask again my 22.5 million is, I think, because mine are 4 runs if I'm not 5 runs if I'm not mistaken. So I have a little bit of an edge even on these guys. So let's create these contracts. You know what, we're just gonna play it really safe, try to sell a few more for 19 million ISK here. 19, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 should be really cheap, and if someone is looking for these, then they will pick them up. So let's go like that. Again, create contracts. And yeah, this is the activity that I'm doing when it comes to making money on my blueprint copies. But again, keep that in mind. As supply increases, all of these used to go for like 20 million ISK, no problem, almost no availability in Jita. But now, as you can see, especially on some of those that are not used very much, they're basically flooded by the market, and it becomes more and more difficult to sell them. But I think as a new structure is going to come out, you'll have a new, really good opportunity to make some money in the blueprint copy market. Let's maybe check a last one here, finding contracts. Again, I'll take the Jita station, do a quick search. These again starting at 5 million for a 1 run copy. Then we've got 8 million also for a 1 run copy. That's not so bad. 10 million, but also for a 1 run copy. That's a little bit strange. Here we've got 2 run copies. Okay, 24 million starting, again 1 run copy. That's really strange. So people are trying to sell these for quite a bit. And again, I think I have a chance here at 19 million, considering what's available up here in general. So let's try it. Create contract. Next. 19 million it's also right one of those sale tricks. It's less than 20 million, and that does tend to attract people. I think that yeah, it's a psychological thing to go with the 9 at the end here. So then we go for next, and that's a 19 million ISK contract for Structure Medical Center blueprint. Let's press finish. Yes. And we can close that. Let's, well, since I still have a little bit, I mean, I'm gonna hit the limit at some point, but we can try another one. Current station, search, starting at 10 million for a 1 run copy. That's really interesting. Here we've got not a lot of them. 29 million for a 5 run copy, 19 million for a 5 run copy. That's mine. These are mine actually. And then here we've got 11 million, but that's only for a 1 run copy. So that's still a pretty good market where apparently there are not that many people super active. So structure offices, advertisement nexus, and then the market hubs apparently are some that I can still make some copies for, because I expect that these will sell at some point. What I can do, I can probably put up another one for 19 million. Let's do that. Create contracts, next, and I'm at my limit. So there we go. I have I think it's 18 contracts that I can have going at the same time, trying to make me money. But yeah, keep that in mind, right? A lot of these structure components still make me around 20 million on every sale. I can make a lot of copies of these, get ready when a new structure comes out. That's probably going to be able to make me quite a bit of money. And the Strauss blueprint has apparently settled at around 1% of the value, so 50-60 million ISK. This is exactly the same. A blueprint original costs 200 million ISK. They're still tending to sell for a 5 rand copy, which takes half the time of the Strauss, but this can still be sold for like 20 million ISK, around 1% of the value of a blueprint original. And that can maybe give you a little bit of an indication of what's a decent price or what's a very bad price for your investment. 1% seems to be the going rate that the market is willing to accept most of the time. And that's what I've been doing, right? This is how I've been making a decent amount of money. In fact, I purchased an extra Plex that was for sale at 890 million ISK. Let's take a quick look at what they're doing now. 897, they're trying to hold on, but sellers have to go below 900 million. That's not very good news. But as I've said, this is the time that you can actually diversify. If you have a lot of expensive Plex, adding a few really cheap Plex at the moment, on the way down. If you have a means of making ISK, then I think that could be a good idea in the longer term. Because just as Plex have not gone up infinitely, they're also not going down infinitely. But that's a bit of a sidetrack to my entire idea at the moment when it comes to the market. But there you go, guys. Quick look at the contracts and how I'm making money, or trying to make some money, on the blueprint copy market in EVE Online. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.